myself earlier, but just in 2 words. I'm a former researcher in biology. I'm a former evolutionary biologist, which is why you can see evolution here, because I love evolution. So even though I left academic research, I still will talk about evolution when given opportunity. And so back in a few years ago, we founded the EvoKE project with a list of people here, but in particular with Shana Sapinto in Portugal, with Eloise Dufour in France, and with Tania Jenkins in the US. And our project is called Evolutionary Knowledge for Everyone. And we are a transdisciplinary network of people, so currently we're 247 people, already in 29 countries. So it's not bad for a network that exists for the past year. We're a bit like the COST network here, the Citizen Science COST network, in that it's very transdisciplinary. There are people who are evolutionary biology researchers, there are people who are education researchers. We also have teachers, we have people also from informal education, museums, science centers, science communicators, of course, and we also have journalists and some media contacts in our network. Trying to get more policymakers, but that's the kind of ultimate goal. And I'm here today because I love citizen science, and I think it's really important that we engage as well with the citizen science community, because a lot of citizen science, ultimately, I'm going to argue that everything is about evolution. Some of the patterns of biodiversity that you're discussing, how we can solve your food web issues in the Netherlands, that's also evolution will help there. But in order to do that, we need a transdisciplinary approach, because it's not a simple problem, as I will explain in a little bit. So our overarching goal is to increase and promote scientific literacy in evolution. And why is this important? Why should we and you and everyone care about evolution? So this is like a very famous guy, Fyodor Jansky, who once said a very famous quote, which has been cited a lot, but I'm going to say it again because it's a good one, that nothing in biology makes sense except in the light of evolution. And I would argue that that's true. So basically, all of the diversity around us, biodiversity around us, is a result of evolutionary processes. All of the crops that we have domesticated, all of the varieties, I mean, you've seen blue potatoes, that's a result of evolution. Dogs, different breeds that we get, are a result of evolution. So actually, evolution is everywhere around us. It's everything that we walk through, it's food that we eat, it's the colds that we get. But most people don't really think of it as being part of one process, of being part of a result of evolutionary processes. However, it is evolution that is going to basically determine the future not only of our species, but also the future of other organisms as well, with ongoing biodiversity loss and climate change. So people do need an understanding, a profound understanding of evolution, in order to be able to make societal decisions, such as whether they will choose to vaccinate their children. However, and that's what we aim to do, that's okay, that's a mistake. That's okay, next. The problem is that actually, even though evolution is a well-known scientific fact, this really rests in academic circles. And up until now, we thought that, people don't believe in evolution. So that in itself, having evolution as a belief system is also a problem. And up until recently, we thought, this is only a problem in the US. Here in Europe, we don't have a problem. Well, what we're finding now, actually, that came out from our first meeting last year, is there isn't actually a standardized way of measuring acceptance of evolution in Europe. Each country uses their own little metric. So this is something we're currently working on in one of our projects. Also, this is based on meta-analysis, basically putting together all of the different papers with acceptance rates. Actually, there are large pockets of people who don't really accept evolution. And this is a problem, and it's an educational problem as well, because teachers as well feel a bit like, oh, it's controversial, maybe I shouldn't teach it. And even though it is in the curricula in most countries, sometimes it's up to the teachers whether they teach it or not, because they don't want to offend their students or their students' beliefs, because evolution ends up being part of a kind of belief system. So this is potentially really, really dangerous, and for this reason, even in Europe, we need a concerted effort, and this message has to pass through every single channel that is possible. So through teachers, through citizen science networks, through scientists themselves. We really think scientists should be more proactive as well, and through the media. So this is why we formed EvoKE, to try to resolve such an issue. And yeah, so even if people accept it, so it's like saying, oh yeah, I don't have a problem with evolution. Unfortunately, most people don't understand it. Misconceptions are common. So when you just type evolution into Google, this is what I did yesterday. So you see evolution, and you see this, classic, this is the kind of meme that you get of evolution. This is basically like we came from monkeys, and now we're humans, and we're the top of the world, and we're going to rule the world. So it's basically, there are several misconceptions here. But one of the main ones is that, the progression of evolution has a goal, and that, the ultimate goal is humanity. And we are at the top of the food chain, and so evolution has formed us, and we're doing a great job. However, so only in one of my images is there like a little phylogenetic tree, which basically shows that, we didn't actually come from, monkeys. We are related to monkeys, and in fact, we don't come from chimpanzees. We didn't evolve from chimpanzees to jump to humans. We share a common ancestor with chimpanzees. So most people, even in scientific papers, you see this little infographic. So even in Nature and Science, you see that. So it's a problem that generally has to be addressed as well within the scientific community. So this is why we made EvoKE, and this is why I think citizen science networks should join us, because a lot of citizen science is about biodiversity as well. And so we think that it's really, really important that if you ever talk about evolution, this evolution is you avoid common misconceptions. Sometimes we may even reinforce misconceptions without even knowing that we reinforce misconceptions. So if you ever have a kind of question or want us to put you in contact with someone that is a kind of expert, maybe an evolution biologist is an expert in your field, so that your brochure or your leaflet doesn't include some main misconceptions, we can help you with that. We can also help spread information to our network via our communication channels. We can also help you recruit citizens and teachers where we can in the 29 countries that we're starting to act in. And we'd in fact like to work with you to see what kind of collaborations we could maybe have in the future. So these are just a few citizen science projects, basically, where evolution is, the underlying thing is actually evolution. And yeah, so an example of some resources we could point you towards is something that I made a few years ago now, which is basically, and also it could be of interest to the teachers amongst you. It's an infographic we made on basically the progression, the history of evolutionary thought, so all the major theories when they came up, with like a little pop-up that says, so if you're interested in that, you can email me, I can send you the link. And in EvoKE, so we basically started last year. We had our kickoff meeting, our kickoff conference in Portugal, and a number of projects came out of them. Some of them more educational, some of them more creative, science communicationing. So we're very open to people. You can join existing projects if you find them interesting, or you can even start your own project within our community. Yeah, so this is just an idea of projects that we have. You can find more information on our website. And yeah, what's the future? For at the moment, we've put in a proposal for EU funding, very much like you know, but for workshops, for professional development opportunities, for transdisciplinary interactions. You can also come and participate at EvoKE events, so we'll be at EXA, we'll be at the site. We're organising workshops at the big Evolutionary Biology conference at ESET. I'm not sure if anyone here is going. We'll be present at several education conferences as well. Our next meeting, if you want to find out more, will be in Split in Croatia in 2019. And yeah, you can become an active member. So at the moment we're forming a group which is basically about forming national representatives. So the idea is that we would like kind of little ambassadors in every country and to feed back into the global organization and to kind of mobilize resources and networks in, at a regional scale, at a local scale as well. So this is something that we're currently working on, which I guess will kick off in the next 3 months. We'll be allocating and voting for national representatives. So if you want to put yourselves forward, you're more than welcome to. So yeah, so you can join us, and I'm happy to talk with you about EvoKE or anything else. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question concerning the previous slide when you showed the. So we don't come from the chimpanzee, but we have a common ancestor.
Yeah.
So then, how does this common ancestor look like?
Well, we don't know. Because maybe you can do phylogenetic analyses to look at the history of those traits, but it would be something we don't know what the ancestral state of particular traits.
Maybe there is this misconception because then as a result we have human and then we have chimpanzee, so it might be something like similar to both of them. So this is why maybe some people think that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there will certainly be something in between us, but we don't know exactly. Yeah. And there are like phylogenetic analyses, so for ancestral, there are programs where you can basically look at the whole phylogeny and say, okay, this is the trait that we observe now, and then you kind of do an ancestral characteristic development and look at how this trait evolved.
So then these common ancestors, we didn't call them human?
No, they were not. They were not human. They were not chimpanzees.
Yeah.
I have a question regarding nearly the last slide, the different colored countries.
Yeah. Oh yes, I did explain that. So, what do the colours mean?
Yeah.
Okay, the colours are the number of people we have in each country. So the blue countries are like low. So if you go from a blue country,
I think it was a blue country.
please join us.
But there are some. If it's a color, there are some.
If there's a colour, there are some. If it's red, there are more. Okay. But please, yeah.
No, just a quick question. Is the focus very much on children or young people, or do you work on adults?
Oh, we work across. Oh, we try to work across the board. So basically, yes, there's one group. So EvoKids is an EvoKE associated project that they really focus on evolution in primary school education. So introducing it. So in the UK, it recently got introduced into the primary school curriculum, which is great. And so they're really focusing on kids, but there are other people that are more kind of interested in adults. We had a breakout session on evolution and citizen science at our previous conference. There are people interested in citizen science. People interested in museums, creating learning experiences. So one of the projects that came out was an immersive game that basically used evolutionary principles, which was then prototyped as well in a science festival in Spain. So yeah.
One of the big issues around evolution and creationism, and I know it's a big issue in the States, is around that slide that you showed about acceptance.
Yes.
Because the little graphic in the bottom
Yeah.
right-hand corner of the
Yeah.
competing evidence, there's the inherent problem that creationism and evolution are presented as equal theories,
Yeah.
when of course they're not. I wondered how you tackled that question that, no, these are not competing theories.
So, actually, within our organization, we take a bit of a hard-lined approach towards when I present it. People know about creationism, but in our organization, we prefer to talk about understanding, because we think that this debate has just been going on and on and on, and it's like a non-debate. And by not even acknowledging it, so not focusing on it, like, the thing is, within an organization, if you just focus on that, we're spending a lot of time just focusing on that, and that's not what's going to solve your societal problems. It's important that we move on to understanding. So we've tried to basically, like in our last meeting, we had one whole plenary, one whole slot dedicated to that topic, and then we're like, okay, but should we try and shift gears more towards understanding?
Understanding of
Evolution.
evolution.
And by
In the States outside Cincinnati, I think there's a museum of
yes.
You know, I mean, there's huge
Yes.
kinds of
Yeah.
challenges around that.
Yeah, and this is why. So we're primarily European based as well. It's not like we don't want to talk about creationism, but we believe that talk has been, that discussion has been made. That point has been made several times, and we need to try and move on because we're not actually getting anywhere.
Oh, I don't know what we can do.
So last year the ESET conference was in Groningen,
Yeah.
and so I was involved in
Great.
this outreach program.
We should touch on
Yeah, so I think it would be
Yeah,
really
yeah.
nice to talk. So we had a 5 days program at this performing arts festival on evolutionary biology.